fine day here in the QC, and I'm glad to see it. I did have a great thought I wanted to share today, and it is having a perfect heart being towards Him. Having a perfect heart towards Him. And as the Most High began to deal with me concerning this idea for today, or this thought for today, He reminded me, He said, you can't have a heart for other people or love other people if you don't love me and have a heart for me. And He reminded me of the text in Matthew 22:37-39, where Yahusha was speaking, or Yahusha, Jesus, however you want to call Him at this time in your walk. He said, you shall love the Most High, your Elohim, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And that's a whole lot of love. And that reminds me of what Pastor Kenny said, I think in the Shabbat before last. He said, when you're in a relationship with a person, you think about them all the time. Even when you're with them, you're thinking about them. But more so when you're not with them, you're thinking about them, about how they're doing, if they have what they need, if they're safe. And a lot of times you want to check in on them. But I thought it was a powerful thought that he made in that service, and it fits right in with this thought. It said, you shall love the Most High your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And I think he put that mind last for a reason, because that's the one we need to shalom on. Think about it. At the end of the text, sometimes it has the word that means to think about it. So in this way, I put it in this thing that we should think about that, because He's on your mind all the time. And that's why it says with all your mind, all your soul, with all your heart. And like he said, when you're in a relationship with somebody, that means you love that individual. And I'm not talking about a associate type relationship. I'm talking about a loving relationship, an intimate relationship. And then it goes on to say, and the second is like this, which means the second commandment is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. That means you have to have that thing lined up to how what is your priorities. You have to have your priorities lined up. And who you're loving, when you're loving, and how you love them. And that also reminds me of the thought that I did a recording about, and I always bring this thought up. Identity without intimacy still means depart from me. Which that's self-explanatory, which it means you can know who you are, but if you don't have a relationship, an intimate relationship with the Most High, at the end of the day, when you say, Lord, Lord, didn't I do this and that for you, for your kingdom? He's going to say, depart from me. And basically, you can't be in, basically just like with this awakening, we have Hebrews all over the world waking up and see, a lot of times we have people that's memorizing scripts, but they're not playing them in their hearts. And see, that's where the problem is. You have to be intimate with the script, intimate with that Torah. But it's hard to do when you're just being part of a cookie cutter system. And that's what the problem is in the Hebrew community. We're not reverencing in spirit and in truth. In spirit and Torah, his written word. But I'm going to get on my walk, come back and get my ride in, and make a day of it. But yeah, that was a great thought. Having a perfect heart towards him. I like how you made that clear to me. Because you can't have a perfect heart if you don't love your neighbor. And like you told me first, if you don't love him. And see, it's hard to love a person when you don't give them your everything. Because basically that's not love. That's what I was talking about before. That's an associate. Whew. I can tell I ain't been on that bike a few days. Squats got me a little winded. Thank the Most High I'm able to get out here today. And two, sometimes we gotta listen to our bodies. And get a good understanding of our limitations. I praise the Most High for healing me overnight. Which some folks may take it as a small thing. But I was just thinking, some folks were blaming on the elderberry, the oranges, the soup, and the hot sauce. They're not going to want to say the Most High healed me overnight. That's why I didn't want to mention that. But at the same time, I felt the need to stress the need for us to take care of our bodies at the same time. We've got to use wisdom in every sense of the word. I'm gonna catch my breath and get back on that thought about having a perfect heart towards them, that is. See, when I'm doing this ride and I'm able to talk out my thoughts, I'm being blessed by them also. I go back to the highs while I'm editing and watch it and be like, ooh, that ain't nothing but the Most High there, confirming and affirming things. But see, that goes back to loving an individual. When you love folks, you make yourself available to them. And I misspoke earlier. I said that I was gaining momentum with these recordings, getting more subscriptions, but it's not I. It's the Most High in me that's gaining momentum, because He does the work. And see, we have got to be more careful not to take any of His glory. Because I was just a broken down individual sitting in the hospital bed with a hole in my chest, 2 holes in my leg, and 3 toes cut off. Not an inkling of what my next steps would be. Oh, that's a good way to use that. Or or if I would even take another step. Because as I said in the prior recording, once my toes was taken, I was done. Like folks say up north, I was done, son. And be more. I was a broken individual. Back of my mind, I remember what my papa told me. I remember that dream. Just like Joseph did. And as I said in the prior recording, Most High mentioned Joseph. I don't want to hear nothing about no Joseph. That man was locked up for life. He's supposed to be killed. For any other person, they would say, off with your head. Off with his head. And sometimes that's how I feel. But whenever I get in that case, or condition, or predicament, or circumstances, or situations, the Most High would cause me to see a vision of that dream he gave me. And it'd be so crystal clear, like the first time I dreamed it. Just like that dream, reoccurring dream I used to have of me floating on the air or skating. I believe that dream of me skating and floating was the Most High imparting in my spirit that I would run again, that I would walk again. Ride again. Stay up, fam. Shalom. About a great ride today. I had to ride almost 7 miles, I know. At the least 6. So a lot of times we speaking stuff in the atmosphere on that ride that he needs to get out there. And like I said, he's confirming and affirming. Or should I say affirming and confirming. A lot of times we have to stay like the duck and let that water just roll on off our back. So we got to stay slick, in other words, because the duck has oil in his skin and on his feathers and his down that keeps water from getting in. But that's how we must be. We can't let Hasatan sneak in at all. And see, just like I said in the prior recording where I was talking about pride and fear, Hasatan deals with our emotions. He deals with sin and emotions. And he gets us to sin through our emotions. But when you steady sinning, you give him place. That's why the script said, give no place to the enemy. Now, yeah, he's roaring like a lion, but he can't even do that. Because he's not. Just like the script says, people are going to look upon him and be like, is this the one that deceived the nations? This little old something here. And I don't believe little in stature, but little in ability. See, he's just a sneak. He's just like when we was out on the streets used to call them snakes, nigga. Oh boy, I almost cussed. Yeah, I wasn't gonna cuss, I was gonna say niggas used to sneak up on you and stick you up when you was out there selling dope in the cut between the different apartments. And just like the police was sneaky, the stick-up boys were sneaky too. And don't be all offended by me saying niggas. Some of us still using that type language as well as other cuss words. But nigga ain't no cuss word. I know a whole lot of niggas in my life right now. I still know a lot of niggas. But anywho, that's how Hasatan is. He always sneaky something. Just like my daddy would say, I don't like no liar. I hate a liar. Because you lie to me, you'll steal from me. And that's the second worst thing in the world, a thief. My pop used to get hot. One of my siblings went into his bank one time. And on our trip to the store, we only had one ride. My pop was the only one that took us to the store, my mom. So I guess after one of my siblings took his change, they wanted to ride out to the store. So instead of sitting on that change for a while, they went on a spending spree. Thinking my mom was gonna ask where you get that change from. Did your pop give you that change? Or did your daddy give you the change? That's what we used to call him, that here daddy. So when my father found out, oh boy, there was some hell and high water going on around that house. Well, my father was hot. He was fussing and cussing and whipping hind parts. And see, he the type person, he wanted to whoop everybody in the house. But one of his favorites was wrong. See, my pop was a daddy's girl. I mean, he loved his girls. See, when his girls got out of place, he really got high. He wanted to whoop the boys too. See, it was 4 of us, 2 boys and 2 girls. They had my sister Jackie first, then my brother Larry, then myself, and then my sister Talisha. So I ain't gonna say which gal did it, but they went in Papa's piggy bank and went on the spending spree. So to secure themselves, they bought everybody something. I remember this like yesterday. But yeah, as far as them emotions, Pastor Tom, and the only way I can sum it up is he's an emotional type fellow. And don't nobody like no emotional nigga. But the nations are gonna say, is this that nigga? And for my sensitive viewers, I do apologize. They're gonna say, is this that nigga that deceived the whole world? And like the script I used earlier, well, that was the prior recording, that the God of this world has blinded the minds of those that will not receive the gospel or will not believe the gospel. And I believe that's sin in a sense to where they refuse to believe the gospel or the Messiah. Okie dokie. I also wanted to share something with everybody. The Most High and I was in there having them leg surgeries. You know, it was a very trying time in my life because, like I said, when they took my toes, I was done. And things just kept coming up. One thing after the other kept coming up. Where they were saying I was having diabetes, heart trouble, had to get on heart pills, diabetes pills, all this type stuff. And the Most High reminded me, he said, Robert, had you noticed every time something come up, I knock it down. Every time something come up, I knock it down. And see, this wasn't exactly his word. That was my summation of what he told me. So I just wanted to remind everybody listening to this recording today that every time something comes up in your life, the Most High would knock it down if you let him. He'll knock it down. And the script he gave me is, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Most High delivered them out of them all. Shalom.